In this lecture, this is your lecture number 5, paper EL 4501, unit 4, CIA 2. In terms of examination point of view, we are discussing here Smith trigger. We are discussing here Smith trigger circuit. We are discussing here, the topic is Smith trigger circuit. Smith trigger is a wave shaping circuit. This is a wave shaping circuit used for generation of a square wave from a sine wave input. So input is sine, Smith trigger, then output is square. So it generates the square wave from the input which is given to the Smith trigger is sine wave. The circuit diagram for this Smith trigger circuit is already given as this here. Two transistors Q1 and Q2. This is our input side, this is our output side. In input side, the first transistor Q1, this is your collector base, and this is your emitter. This is your emitter. So base, it is connected. This is our input. Input, we are applying the sine wave. So this is your C1R1, RC1, RC2. RC1, that means resistance of the collector current. Collector of the transistor 1. RC2 is the resistance for the collector of our transistor 2. This is our supply voltage VCC and ground, and this is your output. Output, it is coming from the output. It is coming from the collector of the second transistor, that means Q2, and this is this is your square wave. This is your square wave. How this circuit works? This circuit works. This figure is the Smith trigger circuit with the input and output waveforms. It consists of two identical transistors Q1 and Q2. This is your Q1 and this is your Q2, which is coupled through an emitter resistor Re, which is coupled through the emitter resistor Re. So this is your emitter resistor Re. R1 and R2 form a voltage divider circuit across the VC1 and ground. See, it is already given in the circuit. This provides a small forward bias to the base emitter junction of transistor Q2. Now, what happened? When the supply is switched on with no input signal, so we switched on the supply without any input signal, then transistor Q2 starts conducting. The rise in the current IE of the Q2 causes a voltage drop across the RE, that is VRE is equal to IERE. VRE, it is equal to RE IE, or we can say IERE. This voltage provides a reverse bias across the emitter base junction of the Q1. Where is emitter base junction? This is your base, this is your emitter. So in between this is known as emitter base junction of Q1, and it is driven into cutoff. Cutoff means switched off. Cutoff means switched it off. Hence it is driven into the cutoff state. Since Q1 is in the off state, the voltage at its collector rise to VCC. The voltage is rise to VCC. Why up to VCC? Because we are supplying voltage is maximum supplying voltage is VCC. So it rise up to VCC. Since the collector of Q1 is coupled to the base of Q2 through resistor R1, the forward bias for the transistor Q2 is increased. Hence, Q2 is driven into saturation. Q2 is driven into saturation. That means this is in on condition. At this instant, the collector voltage levels are Vc1, it is equal to Vcc, and Vc2 is equal to Vce saturation plus Vre. Now consider AC signal of the sine wave or triangular wave applied to the base of the Q1. So this is for when there is no input voltage. Now we consider that we are applying any type of the waveform, either sine wave or triangular wave. We consider that sine wave we are applying to the input of the transistor Q1, that means through the base, right? Consider an AC signal of sinusoidal variation applied to the base of the Q1. Now when the voltage increase above 0, nothing will happen till it cross the upper trigger level. Till it cross the upper trigger level, UTL, upper trigger level. As the input voltage increases above UTL, that means V in less than or equal to VRE plus VBE1. V in is less than or equal to VRE plus VBE. Q1 conducts. The point at which Q1 starts conducting, in it is known as upper trigger point. Upper trigger point. This is upper trigger level, which is now upper trigger point, UTP. UTP. As transistor Q1 conducts, its collector voltage falls below Vcc. Since the collector of Q1 is coupled to the base of Q2, the forward bias to Q2 is reduced. This in turn reduces the current of the transistor Q2 and hence the voltage drop across Re. As a result, the reverse bias of transistor Q1 is reduced and it conducts more, which drives the Q2 near to the cutoff. Near to the cutoff means it is switched off. This process continues till Q1 is driven into saturation and Q2 is cut off. At this instant, the collector voltage levels are Vc1, it is equal to Vce plus Vre, and Vc2 is equal to Vcc. This is your saturation. Transistor Q1 will continue to conduct till the input voltage cross the lower trigger level. Lower trigger level. When the input voltage becomes equal to the lower trigger level LTL, the emitter base junction of Q1 becomes reverse bias. That means Vin Vin is less than VRE plus VBE1. Hence, its collector voltage starts rising towards Vcc. This forward bias Q2 and it starts conducting. The point at which Q2 starts conducting is called lower trigger point. Lower trigger point. Same way, lower trigger level, lower trigger point. Here upper trigger level, upper trigger point. Then the Q2 is very quickly driven into saturation, that means switched on, and Q1 is cut off, that means Q1 is now off condition. At this instant, the collector voltage levels are Vc1 is equal to Vcc and Vc2 is equal to Vce saturation plus Vre. No change in state will occur. I repeat, no change in state will occur during the negative half cycle of the input voltage. The difference between UTP and LTP, UTP and LTP is known as hysteresis voltage. Hysteresis voltage. The difference between the UTP and LTP is known as hysteresis voltage, which is denoted by VH, and it is also known as dead zone of the Schmitt trigger, In terms of waveform, we can see that this is our input. When it reach to the UTP upper trigger level, then at that time we are getting at the output the switched on, that means we are getting the maximum value, right? After a UTP, in between this it remains constant, we are getting this shape of the square wave, and it remains there until the LTP, that means it reach up to the not zero, but up to some value which is known as LTP, and then again during the negative half cycle it is remains constant. When the during the negative half cycle increases up to the UTP, again it is switched on and we are getting maximum value, and again it is in between this there is nothing, but it remains constant. And after the UTL, that means what is UTL? Upper trigger level, UTL, right? It reached to the LTL, lower trigger level. It is now discharging and moves towards the near to the minimum level, and in this way we are getting the square wave to the output of the transistor Q2. Now we are discussing about the applications of the Schmitt trigger. Applications. The first application is Schmitt trigger is used for the wave shaping circuit. It is used for the wave shaping circuit. Also, it can be used for the generation of rectangular waveform with sharp edge from a sine wave or any other waveform. Either we are using triangular wave, we are getting the, also we are getting at the output of the Q2 rectangular waveform. Third application is it can be used as a voltage comparator. It can be used as a voltage comparator. The fourth one is the hysteresis. What is hysteresis? The difference between the UTP and LTP. The difference between the UTP upper and lower. LTP is known as the hysteresis and it is denoted by VH. The hysteresis in the Schmitt trigger is valuable when the conditioning noisy signals, when there is any type of the noisy signals for using digital circuit. The noise does not cause false triggering, and so the output will be free from noise. Due to this hysteresis, output is free from noise. This complete your chapter. Thank you very much.